my name's Tim Manley. I've worked in cybersecurity close to around 3 decades, so about 28, 29 years. I'm currently based out of Japan, and my current role is a principal cybersecurity strategist at Google. Now, my role there is basically to be a thought leader in cybersecurity and kind of helping develop cybersecurity adoption strategies, creating insightful content for our customers, and basically being a practitioner, providing practitioner insights to really help our customers and our product teams Well, that's a good story to tell. I think, everybody has a little bit different, path of how they get to cybersecurity. I started out in, I would say, the mid 90s, and I started out in law enforcement originally. And, it really helped kind of baseline my career, not just in investigations, but, I transitioned into digital forensics. And that point of view was really critical for me to really help build a strong foundation, not just from the technical aspects, but kind of the understanding of the criminal psychology of the adversaries that we deal with today. Now, after that, though, I transitioned out of law enforcement. I moved into the corporate world, and I was really fortunate to get a number of progressive, responsible roles. I started out in endpoint security. I moved into what we call mergers and acquisitions in the banking industry in the 90s, and then moved into security operations and then offensive security. So I got a really broad overview of various areas in the industry to help me really set up for my move into what eventually was becoming a country CISO. So that was a very big transition because, not only was you moving from a technical role, but I also moved into more of I would say, a leadership role. And a lot of the role starts to change from a technical aspect to a lot of soft skills. And then transitioning to more regional, into APAC, for example, throughout the Pacific region, and then ultimately into global leadership. Now, as I kind of pursued my advancement in my career, I eventually decided, okay, let's move into the kind of cloud service provider. I felt it was going to be an area that was going to really help me drive change at a much broader level. And so I could use my past experiences from the customer side to really help build that trusted partnership, and empathy to understand some of the customers and the CISO's challenges as they started to do their security transformation initiatives. So now in my current position, I'm in a place where I can really influence a really wide segment of the industry and help build kind of strategic alliances to develop valuable content to promote security adoption. In other words, to help those customers that, are doing a transition, from their on-prem to their cloud environment. And it's really a great opportunity right now to really help contribute to the future of cybersecurity. Let me first kind of begin. So, when I started my career out in the 90s, there were no such programs such as the Certified CISO program. And so it was really trial and error, as you went through your career. And of course, then when I had to transition into a CISO role, it was very much, leveraging practical experience, trial by error, and mentorship to really, learn the role. So as this program has came out, there's a lot of challenges because of, we find security as being more of a technical type role. And of course, when you roll into the CISO role, it's much broader than just the technical aspects. We have to deal with the soft skills such as communication, reporting and talking to boards, risk management, program management. It's just really, really broad. So for me, as I've already been through, various stages of my career and have been in CISO roles, it really helped me kind of tailor my career, my learning ability, more so as an evolution of a leader to expand or rejuvenate, and refresh a lot of my skills. Because when you learn them, through on-the-job training and without a formal structure, there's areas that you're going to have gaps in. So this really helped me fill my gaps in the areas that I felt, particularly in areas that maybe I wasn't quite as proficient in. And it also helps me have those really, deep discussions with, CISOs, who are currently dealing with different challenges as they're going through their transformation. So to me, it really helped build a deeper understanding of the role as a CISO, and then also helped me to be able to support my customers. It's a great question. So, throughout my career, learning and education is critical, right? You have to keep up with the latest. So I would say after CISSP, I focused a lot on my technical training, from a practitioner's point of view. But from a leadership point of view, the certified CISO program is really probably the most unique choice, or most comprehensive one that I found that was out there. And what I wanted to do was really develop, as I mentioned, the softer skills, the management-oriented capabilities, that are required for these leadership roles. And to me, as mature as a leader. And so, as we get more senior in our career, we become less hands-on, hand-on keyboard, and we're more dealing with the human aspects. So this, to me, really helps drive that, in more real-world scenarios where you can take risk management, budget management, and return on investment, and be able to get a package together, as an executive to really, help drive cybersecurity. It's great to have great solutions, but it takes a lot of effort to really communicate that to the decision makers, for the people that have budgets, that have, headcount, and all of those soft skills that are really required to make a program successful. And I think that was a really big differentiator for me, especially as I'm maturing in my career, to be able to take that to market. Most notably, kind of in the terms of enhancing my ability to support and empathize with my customers, right, in their security journey. So, it's really equipped me to be refreshed and have more of a toolkit, to better understand and address the challenges that my clients are facing. So, that advanced and more practical knowledge, that I took out from the program, really helped me enrich, I think, the quality of my work, and also strengthen those customer relationships. So while it may not, quantify solely in the terms of promotions or pay raises at this stage, it definitely did enhance my skills and the relationships, and, kind of build, that trusted relationship with others that are also in the CISO industry, so they can understand at least that I have a certain foundation, and I can understand from their point of view what they're having to work through. Well, absolutely, because I as I went through my career, I hit those many of those roles that you mentioned, and as an executive, even irrespective of your individual functions, I think that from a holistic program like this, you can really take a wide range of coverage of the domains and have a comprehension that goes beyond your individual role. So as a security professional, yes, we have individual roles we need to do. However, it's much deeper than that. So, to be able to align your security strategy with your business objectives, that's a absolutely must critical task for any security leader. I think one of the standout elements for me was, again, on the executive soft skills. So, the ability to really communicate a risk and value and return back to the boards and back to the other senior executives. And then, to be able to manage your programs, your projects, your budgets, that's absolutely critical skills that you need to be able to bring when, you're talking to your other, peers in this industry. And then the ability to collaborate. So you have to have partnerships across. It's not just cybersecurity, right? We are supporting the business. So how can we have those collaboration across the business and our technical peers to really drive the cybersecurity agenda? So to me, that's the biggest outcome that I've taken from it, is to have more of a holistic approach and to be able to work across my peers. It's a good question. So, I think all 5 of the domains are really critical, in the cybersecurity leadership role. It's each one of them, though, complements the other. So you really get a comprehensive picture of, overarching cybersecurity leadership and strategy. So to have a broad understanding really helps make informed decisions. When you have to look at, your strategy and where you're going to spend your budget, and where you're going to have headcount, and where you're going to use your limited resources. So, I think, my favorite was really the security risk management, right? Security is always going to be a risk. We can put controls in place, and we can put, various tools in place to mitigate and manage the risk. But that risk is the cornerstone, I think, for successful cybersecurity. We're never going to get to zero. We're never going to be able to have 100% get everything that we want from a business. For example, they may have an application that's mission critical, and the fact is it's going to have to, it's part of the business. So we can't impact our business operations. So how do we manage that risk? How do we communicate that risk? To me, is the most critical aspect of being a cybersecurity leader. Well, being selected as an honoree for the Hall of Fame, number one, it was a surprise, and frankly, it's an immense honor. I mean, to be recognized, among such distinguished group of peers, across the globe it's truly humbling. I've worked in my career for, almost 30 years, and you go day in and day out with a limited recognition, particularly in this industry. And to be able to get that, it's something that just truly inspires, the testament of the value. I think the value of continuous learning and professional growth. So to me, this honor, has a really deeper meaning. Of course, it recognizes, our accomplishments, but I also think it sets a higher bar for our future endeavors. So, I think that it instills, for me at least, a responsibility for, continued development and growth, and to be able to help grow the next generation of defenders. So I'm really excited about this journey. I think I'm really committed, to leveraging this platform to inspire, and kind of guide professionals in their cybersecurity careers. Well, absolutely. So, one thing I would suggest is those people that really aspire to be in a leadership role, it's important to get a really strong foundation in cybersecurity. And so it's very, exciting to jump into want to be a CISO very early, but I think it's really important to build your knowledge and your experience, because security is so broad. And once you're a CISO, you have the responsibility across the entire the entire security program. So, if I was able to start out early in my career and I was able to get this training early on, I think it would have enabled me a lot faster with a lot less lessons learned, to develop my skills, much stronger from a foundational perspective, particularly in the in the leadership side of the house, or understanding how to, again, the executive level competencies and the management skills that I think really has to be there to lead initiatives. So, as people mature through their career, I would say start out, get a good foundation in various aspects. You don't have to be an expert on all of them. And then make sure that you get a good foundation from training like this. So, you can build up those skills, which don't come overnight. But I think the learning curve for this, this cybersecurity as a whole is steep. So make sure that, they're patient, they take incremental steps in their growth, and then leverage programs such as the Certified CISO program when they feel they're comfortable and ready to make that step into the executive leadership side.